That's steeped in history. The beautiful French town of Vienne is the perfect place for sun, sea and bargain spotting on BBC Two in half an hour.
Thank you so much. Hello and welcome to Through the Keyhole. And let's find out what's in store for us today. Catherine.
When the chips are down, it's time to aim high. But if there's talk of the north, watch out for that bullish streak. Now here's a bit of a sparkling story. Quite a lot of bullish behaviour and much more than a racy lifestyle. So rally round and let's begin. The clues, David, are all there, but who's playing the game today?
Well, playing the game today, we have our panel. And what a panel they are. They get on as well together as Ozzy Osbourne's family. Our first panellist is an interior designer who says, getting off old wallpaper is a real chore. It's much easier if you hire a stripper and get him to do it. Yes, it's Linda Barker. Our next panellist is a regular on the after-dinner circuit. He says, a good speech is like a woman's skirt. It should be long enough to cover the subject, but short enough to be interesting. Yes, it's the always interesting Peter Sissons. Our final panellist has hosted the holiday show Wish You Were Here. She stayed in one guest house that was so run down, the hotel stole her towels. Will you welcome Anna Walker? Well, now let me tell you a little bit about the game. With the aid of those magic keys, we'll be taking a careful look inside two fascinating homes, and that should tell us something, maybe quite a bit, about the person or persons that live there. All our friends here have to do is to work out who that is. So let's join Catherine G right now at house number 1 and watch closely, because remember, the clues are there as we go through the keyhole.
Stretching away behind me into the far distance are the hills of the Lune Valley, Lancashire. On a spring morning like this, could look fairly stunning, does look very stunning, but this is gritty countryside, the sort of country you need to be born and bred to. Having said that, the sea and the oceans of escape beyond are just a few miles away in Morecambe Bay. Immediate evidence of a real affection for the local area, and specifically for Morecambe Bay, because proudly displayed, the first thing you see as you come through the front door is this really rather contemporary picture of sunny Morecambe Bay. Happy memories, perhaps, of a childhood spent industriously building sandcastles. Or maybe something more to do with the sea and the further possibilities that that opens up for escaping and exploring further afield. And that's further compounded by this series of shields proudly displayed as mascots in the hallway, each one representing a company which this person has been involved with in their career. We've got the Flying Gunners Royal Artillery, the Royal Air Force, HMS Collingwood, HMS Drake. So it's clear that this person has been ready to stand up and be counted for any number of Her Majesty's services. There's a curious mixture of styles in the living room. On the one hand, it's terribly comfortable, traditional, lots of polished wood, cabinets full of glass, the clock on the mantelpiece. But that's slightly blown out of the window by the hugely up-to-the-minute, state-of-the-art entertainment system. Look at this enormous plasma screen. It doesn't actually compete very well, though, against the picture postcard view outside the window. An immaculate dining room. I bet parties in this household are a highly polished performance. Aha, I think I've found the games room. Another state-of-the-art television and music system, racks of CDs. We've got everything from Freddie Mercury, John Williams, through to jazz, and lots of it. And all of that lined up next to a fridge full of beer. I think that entertainment is fairly high on the agenda in this household, but that's not the half of it. Come and have a look at the bar. I have a happy mental picture of relaxed weekends and our host or hostess standing at the bar and saying, well, you've got a beer from the fridge, but look what you could have had from the bar. Gin tonic, vodka, whiskey. But they certainly wouldn't be hitting the target with me if they offered me a glass of this particular wine. To all intents and purposes, a perfectly normal double bedroom. Got the bed, dressing table, a couple of closets, until you find this. There's absolutely nothing normal about the size of this wardrobe. There are more suits in here than in the average gentleman's outfitters. Suits you, sir. Those of you who know about cars will recognise that this is one serious piece of machinery. Someone has obviously made good, and now they're enjoying all the trappings of success. I think this is one clue I'd better not take home with me. So let's look at the clues again. The plasma screen, the love of jazz, the forces shields. Who lives in a house like this? David, it's over to you.
Well, thank you, Catherine. And now for our home and studio audience, but not for our panel, here's whose house it is. Linda, would you like to kick off?
I would, actually. I think we're after a gentleman, aren't we? My powers of deduction are amazing. A gritty northerner. And I suspect this gentleman has, perhaps is in retirement or semi-retirement, but you know, he's made a career out of the entertainment business. And now he's kind of resting on his laurels a little bit. It might work a bit, but not as much as we kind of knew him for in the past, perhaps.
Very good. Peter?
Well, I don't know what to make of these clues. I think industriously building sandcastles. Is there a clue there? Was he involved as an industrialist at some stage?
No. Not particularly.
And it's the service career, the remnants of it. Is that important to us? Or were they just given to him as souvenirs by perhaps ships or regiments for which he performed?
Very possible.
And keeps a fridge full of beer by the television. Well, don't we? We all do that, don't we? And has is it a whiskey or a wine called Old Tart? This is a very complex character, this. Very complex character. Yes. Anna, can you sort him out?
Well, it's a shame he's from the wrong side of the Pennines, really, isn't it? Should be from Yorkshire, not Lancashire, but he clearly is from Lancashire, I would say. As she said, born and bred there, near Morecambe Bay. I'm trying to think of entertainment stars who kind of, as part of their performance, the whole Lancastrian scene is really essential to their act. And I think I'm not sure that this is an actor. Maybe a comedian?
You're right about a comedian who then
Maybe-
went on into something related that became very famous.
Game show host.
Yes.
Very good. Ooh.
Well, that narrows it down, doesn't it?
And I wonder if he presents like game show. I suppose.
And was he on...
What type of program?
When he was a comedian, would you see him regularly on that lovely programme, The Comedians?
Yes. And the wheel tappers and shunters.
And does he play the trumpet?
He does.
It's Jim Bowen.
It is. Well done, Peter. Jim Bowen, will you come through the keyhole?
How are you?
Very good. Thank you.
All right. That'll be all right.
And a very dashing jacket from that magnificent wardrobe of yours.
Yes. I was rather upset about the comments that that lady there made about the jacket in the wardrobe.
You were?
That was the only one that wasn't mine. Yes.
So
Somebody sent it.
you're off the hook.
Yeah.
That is a vast collection of CDs too, isn't it? How many do you have?
Enjoy my music, actually. Yeah, there are a lot there that the shops don't know I've got them. I'm going to take them back. Yeah, and they got the jazz bit. I enjoy the jazz. I do enjoy jazz.
Yeah, you love that.
Yeah.
And that's what you play on the trumpet, mainly.
Well, I don't play a trumpet. I own one. I play it a little bit, but not in a public place.
Not in a very...
Too often, no, because I'm not very good.
Oh, well, Peter says you're very good at it.
Well, Peter's ears are not what they used to be.
Now, we're absolutely right there talking about the comedians. I mean,
Yes.
that was your big break on television, wasn't
Yes, to make everyone feel their age, you guys here and you people at home, 32 years since the comedians.
it? No.
Really? 32 years, 1971. 71, Johnny Hamp got us all together as the comedians.
And then how long did it take from that to Bullseye?
Well, it took... people deferred it for as long as they could. But it came in 1980, Bullseye hit the screens, and as you know, it set the industry back 20 years. But they didn't find us out for 15. We did 15
It was on
years.
for 15 years?
Yes, and did awfully well.
And were the catchphrases everyone likes a bit of bully and just look what you could have...
Well, that was the one I thought that Catherine might have given away, because she said, from the beer, she said, and look at what you could have had. I thought that might have been one of the... But they're obviously a bit dim and missed that. Sissons there, P. Sissons Esquire, vocalist of this parish, we spent many a happy hour, haven't we, Peter, on QE2, from what he can remember of it.
And you said once that how sorry you were that your adoptive parents never saw your success.
Yeah, never. It's weird, really, that Mum died early and Dad died before it actually sort of happened. I started to get there in 1970, only by luck. I promise you, talent's the last of the prerequisites. And then it got 75 and then Dad died. So they never saw the real hit was Bullseye, which was a tremendous thing to do. It was a great game. I didn't do it justice for a few years, but it was a great game, yeah.
Did you ever meet your real parents? Did they ever contact you?
Never had any desire to. And I feel very strongly about it, actually, about not wanting to, I should say. I think it's a real kick in the teeth for adoptive parents when you suddenly want to decide to go and find who didn't want you when you had nothing. You know, when your adoptive parents have spent 15 to 20 years giving you everything they've got. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without getting too serious, because...
No, but I see that totally, yeah.
Yeah, so I've never had a desire to. My mother was a Miss Williams. I was born in Heswell, and my father was the crew of the Ark Royal. Not the officers.
Yeah. You come from a long line of... And you've updated your autobiography.
Yes, I put pictures in now with crayons. Yes, I have actually, seriously. I did the one from A Bundle of Rags, which took me to 1993, as against age 93. And then I did another, I thought there was a bit more to tell, so I told a bit more about QE2, which Pete and I enjoyed at great length, and stories about when I worked with the BBC on radio. So I added a few years, and it's available now in all the antique shops. And in fact, I've got 6,000 in the boot if you'd like one. Yeah.
We'll come round. We'll come round. And what's it called? Right place, right time? It's called
Right, yeah, which is true of this business, as you well know.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? It's being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
It is.
Luck and opportunity.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And here is the Through the Keyhole key, which is our way, as you know, of saying thanks a million for being with us. Jim Bowen, you're always a delight. Jim Bowen, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Bowen there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hope he moves again in a year's time so we can have him back. Well, now, I wonder who's next. Let's join right now, Catherine, this time in Andorra at house number 2, as we go through the keyhole.
I have wound my way up vertigo-inducing roads, doing hairpin bends to left and right, up into the mountains of Andorra, to reach this beautiful town of La Mandrassa. And I have to say, though the drive was pretty hairy, it was worth it for the views. Snow-capped mountains in the background. And talking of snow, here on the balcony, I think I've spotted my first clue, a snowboard. Clearly somebody who likes their sports. Let's see what else I can discover inside. Given the time in Spain, I suppose it's fairly appropriate to have a bull on your doormat. Or maybe it's an indication that whoever lives here wants you to know they like to fight to the death. The kitchen area is sleek, modern and glossy, almost urban, with these very modern condiment sets. But there's also something a bit rough and ready about it. I love this zinc-top chunky breakfast bar, and also a few international touches. Look at these, almost Middle Eastern in influence. On the cupboards here, we've got a fine array of glasses, not just to drink from, but also to wear. These are very trendy, possibly a little bit trendy for me. And plenty to drink. A good selection of wine and a very nicely sized bottle of champagne there up at the top. So this apartment has all the trappings of a very glamorous lifestyle. The sitting room is designed for full-on relaxation. Look at the size of this chaise longue. Again, it's all really modern and funky, and they've chosen very sleek, almost quite tough designs. Look at this durable leather armchair. They've got their home comforts as well. Good-sized basket of logs, but I noticed that the grate's pretty clean, so maybe they don't get to spend too much time here. When they are here, though, they obviously just want to escape from the rigours of their daily life, settle down on this enormous sofa and play games. We've got Scrabble, sets of cards, the chess set, perhaps someone who likes to think strategically when they're playing. And when they're not trying for a checkmate, they're whiling away the time dreaming of other adventures. Flying, mountaineering, obviously someone who likes to aim high. Having had a full investigation of this range of storage cupboards, I find it quite interesting that possibly one of the biggest is entirely devoted to outdoor pursuits. Given that I'm in a ski resort, it's not really that surprising that we've got goggles, ski gloves, ski hat, but also mountain bike riding hat, riding gloves. I begin to wonder if this person actually ever sits down. And fitness is obviously important to them. Look at these power bars and an enormous tub of whey protein. They obviously spend a lot of time whizzing off, finding their way off the beaten track. Let's look at the clues again. The champagne lifestyle, the strategic thinking, the outdoor pursuits, the bull-like behaviour. Who lives with a view like this? David, it's over to you.
Well, thank you, Catherine. And now for our home and studio audience, here's whose house it is. You know all about outdoor pursuits. Anna, you start us off.
I do. I wish I could had a place like that. It looks like a second home to me. It doesn't look like somewhere that they live in all the time. A bolt hole, which leads me to believe that they're probably not a skier or something by profession, but that they just love being in the outdoors. I think, though, sport may well be a central part of their lives, as in something that they've done all their lives, maybe a sport that they've excelled in, but all other sports are just hobbies. The question is, which sport?
Exactly.
There's so many different clues. I would be, I don't know, inclined to go more for the, I don't know, perhaps boxing, something like that?
Not entirely,
No?
but good deducing. Peter.
I'm a bit worried because we ignored Catherine's bullish / bullseye connection on the previous one. And she mentioned the word bullish in the introduction to the programme when she referred to this, and she also drew our attention to the bull on the mat. The sport is not a matador. No?
You're right, he's not a man.
Not yeah. Well, what about the other clue in the right at the beginning of the programme when she said, I think she used the word rally round, rally round. Well, perhaps we're looking for a rally driver.
Very good. Linda.
I guess this guy is quite young. And I'm thinking, I'm still not prepared to give up the bull influence. Is there some kind of nickname that we refer to this chap as? No.
Not to our
Definitely
knowledge.
not. Going the long distance thing makes sense now. I put long distance, and presumably these rallies take him out for big chunks of time. You know, they spend a long time on these rallies, don't they? So I imagine, I think we got a ripple of applause when we thought it was his second home. So he's probably from England. And I guess he's a bit of a tax exile, so he's making stacks of money.
I can't... Where exactly is Andorra?
Isn't it between Spain and France in the mountains?
Yeah.
So, and I think I'm right in saying it's a place for tax exiles.
Yeah, only rally drivers can get there.
Yeah.
All right, Anna, can you identify this champion?
Well, I'm quite interested when Linda said he's from England, and there's a round of applause. The most famous rally driver I can think of is Scottish. So I might hazard a guess, do you think? Yes. Is it Colin McRae?
No.
Oh, I thought all the fitness and the building up and everything, I suppose
No,
they
our
all have
man
to
was
do
definitely
that.
born in Berkshire.
Oh, Berkshire, right. OK, other rally drivers then. Over to you, Peter.
I haven't got a very long list of rally drivers here.
Well, this man is the tops in world rally driving.
I must have read his name out dozens of times.
I think
if that's the case.
You're very close, but you're...
It's probably McRae's biggest rival.
He was world rally champion in 2001. That was the first time he got the world rally champion, as in addition to the British awards that he's had. And you'll kick yourself when I tell you that it is, in fact, Richard Burns.
Oh, no. I should have got...
Now, Richard Burns out on the road right now, just as ever. But before she left Andorra, Catherine spoke to Richard, and this is what he had to say to her.
Richard, first of all, thank you so much for letting us look around your lovely flat here and for being on Through the Keyhole. Now, you are Britain's top rally driver and you have been world champion. Did your rally driving start from just a passion for cars, or was speed the drug that attracted you?
I don't know, it's passion for driving and for cars. A long time ago, I could first drive a car when I was 11 years old, and it really it went on from that.
Top sports people are known as being very fiercely competitive. You have to be so to be successful. You have quite a reputation for that. Is that true?
I don't know where that comes from. Can't possibly be true. I think it's same with, first of all, most sportsmen, and secondly, most blokes. I would think it's in us, and very definitely when I get inside a car. I'm normally, when I do other things, other sports with friends or whatever, I'm not overly competitive, but as soon as I get in a car, something that I know I can do well, then I totally change.
So what kind of mental attitude do you need to be a successful rally driver?
I think, again, like most sports people, if you just when you start, it's just total commitment to what you're doing. And when I was at that age, at my late teens, then I really didn't do anything else at all other than try and sort of work to earn a bit of money to spend on my car to go rallying.
You've done the safari rally a number of times in Kenya. Is Kenya a favourite place for you now?
It's actually dropped out of the championship now, but I won the rally twice, and it's one of the rallies I did when I was quite young. I did it the first time when I was 23 years old, and it's quite an unusual event. It's very different. The sections are a lot longer. It's obviously a lot hotter and a lot rougher than most of the rallies, and the very first one I did was 4 days long and covered something like 5,000 kilometres.
So for this year and into the future, what's the next big challenge for you?
I think to become world champion again. I've done it once. I lost my title in 2002 to my teammate, which is the worst person to lose it to, obviously. So to try and get that back again, and I'm still only 32 years old. I've still got quite a few years left in the sport, so that's my ambition.
Well, I wish you all the best with it. I'm sure you'll be very successful. Thank you once again for being on Through the Keyhole, and here is a trophy that even you haven't won before.
Wow.
The famous gold Through the Keyhole key.
Thank you very much. I'm sure I'll find somewhere to put that. Thanks.
Richard Burns there. Richard Burns there. I wonder where he is going to put the key. Anyway, we'll never know, probably. And Jim Bowen, our thanks to them both, of course, not to mention our glorious panel, ladies and gentlemen, Linda, Peter, Anna. Until the next time, goodbye for now.
Delving into the archive, the Nation on Film captures the stories of Asian immigrants to Britain, tonight on BBC Two at 7:30. Next on BBC Two, a couple of trendy young friends go shopping for stylish items in sun, sea and bargain spotting.